Hello, I am Professor Artemis, and I am so excited today to launch our first course in Elestrals Academy with you. Today will be a whirlwind sprint through what is Elestrals and how does the game work. Worry not if you get lost in the sauce a little bit. We're going to have individual lectures to cover all of the subcomponents of what is going on with the game. This course is supposed to get all of the ideas in your head today so that when you watch the future videos, you'll be able to connect the dots and understand the full perspective of the game. Without further ado, let's jump into these basics. The game of Elestrals gives each player a field of 12 slots with which to play the game. Each player has 2 resource piles, a spirit deck on the bottom left, which contains 20 special cards known as spirits, which are used as a resource to pay for cards. On the bottom right is the second resource pile, known as the main deck, which consists of a combination of 40 total cards spread between Elestrals and runes. A player loses the game when either resource pile runs out and they are required to take a resource from it. For the main deck, that means drawing a card with nothing left in the deck results in a loss. For the spirit deck, being forced to spend, known as expending, results in a loss when there are no spirits left. The top middle 4 zones are home to the Elestral row. This is where you can cast Elestrals, the units for playing the game. Each Elestral has an enchantment cost. Enchantment costs have 2 components, a number of spirits and the type of spirits on the card. When paying the enchantment cost for an Elestral, the spirits are placed under the card and remain on the field with it. An Elestral may be cast with any type of spirit, but can only use its effect in its text box if it uses all of the correct type of spirits listed on the card. An Elestral that matches all of the elements printed on the card is referred to as enchanted, and misenchanted if it does not. If an Elestral does not have enough spirits, it is sent to the underworld, because it is considered under-enchanted. The underworld is the zone to the right of the Elestral zones, and serves as your discard pile. Elestrals have an attack and defense value. When sideways, they use their defense stat. When straight up, they use their attack stat. On the left is the first zone you are allowed to place rune-type cards in. Runes are cards that allow you to take an action or change the game to your advantage. Their costs work the same as Elestrals. This left zone is for a special type of rune known as Stadium runes. Stadium runes apply an effect that changes the state of the game for both players. Only one Stadium rune can be played at a time. If you play a Stadium on your turn, your opponent still may play one on their turn, and it will destroy yours. The final 4 zones are the rest of the rune zones. Runes are divided into 2 types, continuous and instant. The Stadium rune was an example of a continuous type. Continuous runes stay on the field once cast. There are 2 types of continuous runes. The first is an artifact, which changes a single Elestral. When cast, you select an Elestral and the artifact belongs to it. This is called empowering the Elestral. You can select your own or an opponent's Elestral to empower. If the Elestral leaves the field for any reason, the artifact goes to the underworld. The last type of continuous rune is a divine rune. Divines are runes with powerful effects that can be activated by removing spirits from them, known as disenchanting. Some Elestrals and runes exist that have additional abilities if their partner divine is on the field. There are 2 types of instant runes, invoke and counters. Invoke runes can be played on your turn and let you perform an immediate action. This can vary from destroying a card on the field to special casting an Elestral from your underworld. The final rune type is a counter rune. Unlike invoke runes, a counter rune must be set face down on your field for a turn before being played. The other rune types may also be set in this row for various strategic reasons if desired. Starting on your opponent's turn, after being set, the counter rune can be activated at any time its casting conditions are met. Since counter runes can be played on your opponent's turn, they are a valuable resource for disrupting and protecting your cards. Instant runes have the special ability to be able to pay their cost from spirits on the field instead of the spirit deck. This is why even if your spirit deck is at 0, the game still might not be over yet. An Elestral's turn has 4 steps. The draw phase, where you add a card to your hand from the deck. The main phase, where you can use rune or Elestral effects available and additionally take 1 normal action. The normal actions available are a normal cast. This is casting a 1-cost Elestral from your hand using a spirit from your spirit deck. You may also do a normal ascend. Ascending in Elestrals is the process of casting an Elestral on top of another. Unless an effect specifies otherwise, Elestrals that cost more than one spirit must be ascended and cannot be directly cast. When ascending, you send the Elestral on the field to the underworld, add its spirits to the one being ascended to, in addition to one spirit from the spirit deck. Any Elestral can ascend to any other. A 1 cost can ascend to a 1 cost, and a 1 cost can ascend to a 3 cost if there are enough spirits. It's important to remember you must always add 1 spirit from your spirit deck, even if there are enough spirits there already for you to ascend. Additionally, using a process known as siphoning, you can use spirits from other Elestrals on the field as part of an ascension. Additionally, you may use an enchant normal action. This process is taking 1 spirit from your spirit deck and adding it to an Elestral on the field. Some Elestrals trigger an effect when they receive a spirit, so this is a great option for re-triggering it. Finally, if you have nothing else you want to do, you can do what's called expend to draw. You spend 1 spirit to the underworld and add an additional card to your hand from the deck. Remember, you only get 1 normal action per turn, so you can cast as many runes as you want after you expend to draw, but you cannot normal cast after. In addition to casting runes and taking your normal action, any Elestral that was not cast this turn can change between attack and defense position 1 time. Any Elestrals cast this turn must remain in the position casted. Once you have done everything you wanted in the main phase, you move to the battle phase. Once you leave the main phase, you can no longer activate invoke runes or set runes, so make sure you have everything set up as desired before moving to battle. In the battle phase, any attack position Elestral may declare an attack. If your opponent has Elestrals on board, you must attack those Elestrals first. The attacker chooses which 2 Elestrals will battle. When 2 Elestrals battle, you compare their stats based on position. An attack position Elestral uses its attack stat, a defense position Elestral uses its defense stat. If an attack position Elestral has a higher stat, it destroys the Elestral it is battling. If they are equal, they are both destroyed. If a defense position Elestral has a higher stat, then nothing happens. When 2 attack position Elestrals battle and 1 is destroyed, damage is dealt to the controller based on the difference in spirits, not the stats. Damage is taken out of the spirit deck in Elestrals. There is no separate life counter. So if Elestral with 2 spirits destroys an Elestral with 1 spirit, the controller expends 1 spirit as damage. No damage is dealt in battles involving defense position Elestrals. If your opponent has no Elestrals, you may attack the spirit deck directly. Your opponent will expend 1 spirit per spirit under the attacking Elestral. And finally is the end phase. Nothing happens here by default, but some cards have effects that activate in the end phase, and those can happen at this time. To start the game, decide who is going first, usually by rolling a dice. Each player takes a hand of 5. If you do not like your hand, you can expend 2 spirits to mulligan and draw a new hand. The only limit on mulligans is the number of spirits in your spirit deck. The first player does not draw a card and cannot attack this turn. After that first turn, all turns proceed as normal and move back and forth until one player exhausts one of their resource piles. Elestrals is an exciting game filled with fun mechanics to dive into. I hope this introductory lecture has helped give you an understanding of the fundamentals. I look forward to taking you through more lectures in the future to dive into all of the individual topics more. For now, don't be afraid to get out there and start clashing. Even if you do it a little bit wrong, it will help give you some practical experience and basis of understanding for future lectures. Have fun going out there and clashing, y'all. I hope to see you in a future class.